bird's view. Boxes, white, gray, sometimes brown. Yeah, and people live there. They have no other choice, right? Maybe somewhere you will see. I'm talking about the architecture. Maybe religious buildings. They will look a little bit different, and really like church, right? It will be a bit better looking. I don't have the picture, but it's just something that stands out of the houses. Going to European Union, right? That's definitely not Ukraine. You can see that in Europe they have many styles, and that would be Germany probably, or that part. They like these little houses with cross wood. So if you see a house with these crosses, that kind of crosses, that is European for sure. Yeah, small towns will have that. Not big cities. Nowadays, big cities have big buildings, and small towns, they have this kind of architecture everywhere. In a way, it looks good, but everything is so small for me. Like sometimes it's boring when you get more and more every day. So that is, I guess, Spain or France. Spain or France. So this is like Gothic style. Have you heard of Gothic style? Gothic means if you see the building with very high and sharp or peak roofs, that is a Gothic style. European people love that, and you can see those kind of buildings, those kind of roofs almost everywhere in Europe. And they look impressive, but yeah, a lot of people like that. Do you have a question about that? I see you started talking. Any questions about this? What is it? No? So that, I think that's a cathedral. Again, religious place, usually. Yeah, so just, it looks cool. It looks a bit, yeah, it's also gray. It can be a bit depressive, but you have, when you have this difference, right? Boxes, and then those kind of buildings, and then something else, you don't feel that much depressed, right? Next one, this is, where is it? Germany? Hungary? But yeah, it's again, European Union. And why I do like European Union style is that they combine very old architecture, which is beautiful, and very new architecture, which is that, like very modern, very colorful, and those two can be standing right by themselves, like very close to each other, just cross the road. I think that's the National Art Museum, but I don't remember which country it is. Yeah, looks good, right? You don't see that, again, you don't see that in Ukraine. We don't have it. That is Oslo. Oslo, you know Oslo? Yeah, capital city. No, maybe. Anyway, that is the National Theater in Oslo, one of the Nordic countries, the northern country. Again, that doesn't really take much to build a beautiful city, right? If you're, sorry, not beautiful city, that's too much. Beautiful building. If you're building buildings anyway, so why not to build it beautifully, right? So like here, in Taiwan, I'm surprised. I love your National Theater here in Taichung. It just looks very cool to me. That looks very cool to me, that also National Theater. And theaters in Ukraine, box, again, just very big gray box, which is not colorful at all, which it should be, right? The theater or those kind of important buildings, they have to stand out. They have to be like a representation of the city. Well, apparently not for Ukrainians. And that's it about buildings. So everywhere, one day I remember I woke up and I looked in my window and I said, oh my God, that looks like North Korea. Because everything was gray. It was like after the rain. Everything was gray, everything was dark, And before that, I watched video about North Korea and how people live there. It was the same. So I thought, okay.
You say Ukraine looks like North Korea?
Oh yeah, you didn't see that. Let me show you. So that, how typical city looks like in Ukraine. No high buildings, none. Maybe in capital, in Kiev, you will see some of the, high buildings, but not in usual cities. And if we're talking about regular towns, which are like 500,000 or something, like very small population, oh, that is usual for them. Like in my city, you can see maybe up to 5 buildings which are somehow looking cool. I mean, cool compared to that, right? They're maybe a bit higher or they're a bit different color. But in other cities, that's the usual one. Everything looks like that. Schools, theaters, but bigger, and that's it. Nothing really. And I don't really understand why you should do that. Like, people don't like that, but at the same time they do, because they don't want to change it. Like in Lithuania, if you go to some parts, some districts of small towns in Lithuania, which was the USSR country, but now it's EU, right? They even if they cannot rebuild the house, they try to make it a bit more
Modern.
yeah. They add colors to that. They add very big graffiti, which are looking cool, like very cool graffiti. They hire professional painters, and they redo that, right? They just have the gray box, and now it looks bright, colorful, with a bit sense of style. And people, believe me, they look at that every day, and that makes them feel better compared to that gray stuff. Yeah. So